I would formally like to welcome everyone to the regular meeting of the Rotary Club of Northampton, Kaga Valley. I know I'm excited. It's nice to be in what I consider a historical moment of bringing on a satellite e-club. Hasn't been done in our district before, and it's just kind of neat to be able to putting in a new thing, and I'm sure it's going to work out well. In the past, people were a little bit unsure how electronic meetings were going to work. The whole world's doing electronic meetings. We know they work. So that is gone. And now that we're able to be formal, I would hope the club can grow and get on its own 2 feet and everything. You can either stand or stay seated. I'd like to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Hand across your heart if you're staying seated. And if you want to stand, please do. And I will start. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Rich Potts, would you unmute yourself and give our blessing, please?
Dear God, may your radiant spirit guide us and our loved ones for all of our days. Amen.
Now, we have a lot of guests, and normally it has been the privilege of one of our founding members, Roger Edwards, to introduce the guests. And I don't know if every guest that we have a name for has made it, Roger, but why don't you go ahead and introduce all of the people that are on our call?
Okay, I'll give it a try. I'll butcher some names here, and some of them you've already met. A lot of DGs, which I guess means darn good rather than district governor. But District Governor John Reyes is down there. Will you flash these people when I mention their names, if you could? Can you do that, Ray? Can you flash
I
their
will
picture?
try.
Okay, John Reyes. Well, he waved anyway. District Governor-elect Pat Myers. I don't think Larry Lohman's on here. He's the District Governor nominee. Beverly Skorzinski is, I think I saw her and Dave both on here. Mike Devanzo, I see him over there waving. Thank you. Maureen Garnett, I saw her on here. I don't know whether I saw Dave or not. Their district public image co-chair, whatever that means. Do we have, what kind of images do we have here, district governors? Anyway, Miss Warren Siglende, how close do I come with that? Okay, there she's waving. I don't see Stu Buchanan. Is he on here?
I am.
Oh,
congratulations! Yeah, I'm excited.
He's one of my favorites. I was going to say Stu Buckanucka, but Steve Buchanan, Kristen Lewis, I saw her from Green somewhere. Harlan Radford, there, he's waving, good. Bob Fratino, is Bob on here? Okay. He and Eric Wagner are the E-Club advisory people. Kathy Berkshire, did I see Kathy somewhere? And,
you don't see me, but I'm here. Congratulations,
okay,
E-Club.
How about Rick Pollock? Did he get to join us? Okay.
He didn't come on yet.
Randy Reniger, I think I saw him back behind somebody somewhere earlier. Cheryl Warren, of course, is here and helping to record. Bob Oborn, he's down here in my left-hand corner. And Mohammed, I want to go back and let you introduce yourself again, because some of these people weren't on earlier. He's really a special, we have special guests, but he's a special guest from Karachi, Pakistan. Mohammed wants to say something, please. If Ray will let you.
There he goes.
And I'm a member of Rotary Club of Karachi, Satin Hill. And I've been a Rotarian since 1985. And I've been the president of a previous Rotary Club in Karachi, the Central Club. And I'm very pleased to be here as a visiting Rotarian. And our club here is doing a fair amount of service. We are involved in expansion of Cancer Foundation Hospital here in Karachi. We are also assisting in a program for deaf children and a teacher training program for the deaf people. Also, we are involved in programs for the mentally retarded children so that they become useful citizens. And otherwise, all I can say is I'm very pleased to be here. And I am here through my son, Asad Kheshki, who I believe is one of your members. So, any questions?
Thank you for taking the time to join us, and
My pleasure. My pleasure, sir. My pleasure.
sit back and enjoy, and
I will.
we'll get on with our celebration.
Okay, just
Uh,
one more comment. If I missed anyone, I apologize. And if I mispronounce your name, what the heck? You're lucky I didn't do worse, I guess. Welcome.
Okay. Jim McKee, you're on.
Thank you, Ray, and thank you for all of you that are joining us in this special day. I heard historic a few times, and that's exactly what this is. I was thinking back to when I first joined Rotary, and I recall learning while at Rotary meetings what a camera phone was. And I remember learning what the plain paper fax machines existed. Those were pretty special ideas and certainly changed lives. Ideas are a wonderful thing. Ideas can be shared, and then they can be dismissed, they can be discarded, they can be used for a while. Sometimes they can make lasting change, and occasionally they can change the world. And wow, how have we seen with the electronic age that we're able to meet like this beyond my imagination. I remember our first Rotarian in our club that would use the internet while we were in the meeting. Rich Potts, it's with us. He'd be in there punching away at the keys, and it was so fascinating that he was able to do that and able to answer emails on his phone or on a laptop or on a tablet. He had all of them while we were in the meeting. How ideas have changed us, and how fortunate we are as Rotarians to embrace new ideas. And that's what we have here. We have a new idea, and we're at the forefront of it. And how cool is that? How cool is it that we get to be the ones that get to start something new? And for our charter Rotarians, I'd like to name these folks of the E-Club. I'd like to name them Celeste Renninger. If you'd wave, if you could, as I call your name, you'll be inducted in a few minutes. Celeste Renninger, Caleb Robinson, Kaylee McKee, Catherine Craig, Gilletta Craig, and Assad Sagi. Also joining our current Rotarians, Steve Warren and Linda Boardman. These 8 folks have the unique opportunity, well, they're going to be inducted to be charter members of something brand new. And I know that our club, we talk about it, our district officers talk about it. We are all just so excited and proud of what this group of people, this unique group of people can do. With that, I talked about ideas. It's time for me to turn it over to the person who brought this idea to our district, our immediate past district governor, Beverly Gent Skrzyński.
Thank you. Thank you, past Sister Governor Jim, President Ray, and this incredible Rotary family that's assembled here today. I'm honored to be asked to tell you a little bit about the history behind the concept and the development of this e-club. It started over 2.5 years ago at the Rotary Zone Institute in Chicago in October of 2017. I was in attendance in my role as district governor, and I was continuing to be on the lookout for new and different models for Rotary engagement, as I felt that there was something missing in our own district's demographic. Simultaneously, Catherine Craig was in attendance with past Sister Governor Steve Zaber, who she has worked hand in hand with through the years. As Catherine was reconnecting with Rotary friends, I believe she was always continuously on the lookout for the right structure for her own Rotary involvement. She then had a conversation with a close friend from District 6600 regarding an e-club. And once Catherine approached me, we were on our way. Neither of us found the standard model of an e-club attractive and felt the service component and periodic in-person connectivity was critical, as they are some of the most important attributes of about being a Rotarian. Enter the hybrid e-club. In 1819, we began serious discussions seeking support and ideas from within and outside our district. Then Assistant Governor Tom Craig, charter member of the Rotary Club of Green, indicated that this type of Rotary structure would be attractive for his wife, Gilletta, who was an educator. And what an incredible team Catherine and Gilletta have made, combining passion and perseverance, each with their own skills that complemented one another and always holding true to the original premise. The challenges were many, and particularly in helping our Rotary clubs to understand that the concept was not a threat, but an opportunity to re-engage those who had left the club or did not find the current structures of Rotary viable for them. But they all had one thing in common, and that was a desire for service and to join with other like-minded people. In the early stages, we were joined by then Assistant Governor Bob Fratino of the Rotary Club of Painesville. And then support came from past District Governor Cheryl Warren, Steve Warren, past District Governor Jim, and from so many others who are in this room today. It is fresh, innovative, and in my estimation provides all the best that Rotary has to offer: connectivity, innovation, information, friendship, and service, in a structure that was even more relevant than Catherine and I could ever have imagined at the time. I couldn't be more excited by the Rotarians and soon-to-be Rotarians who comprise the membership of this hybrid e-club. Some of you have been dedicated and committed to Rotary for longer than I can talk about. And the only thing that's been missing was the Rotary pin. Congratulations to those of you. And my friends, never discount the power of our Rotary spouses and partners. And thank you to the members of the Rotary Club of Northampton, Kaga Valley for your willingness to come to the table and support and help bring this concept to a realization. As we all know, some of the most successful endeavors take just a little longer to come to fruition. Thank you.
Next up is our District Governor, John Reyes.
Well, I'm your district governor for about 19 more days, but I do thank all of you, particularly Ray and Jim, for inviting me to participate today. I've been asked to help with two things, and I'm honored to do both, frankly. First, we're going to induct both our new and existing members. Frankly, there is no prescribed ceremony for inducting new members into Rotary, and there certainly is no prescribed ceremony for inducting new members into a satellite hybrid e-club, and I believe that may be the only one of those in the world. So in spite of that, I think it's important to handle the induction with a certain level of formality. What we are doing is important. The roles you are undertaking are important and valued. And let's proceed first with the induction. And as I mentioned, while some of you are already Rotarians, several of you are not. And we are going to induct all of you at this time into this new and exciting club. All of you have chosen membership in what we will momentarily charter as the Satellite E-Club NEO of TRC of Northampton, Cuyahoga Valley. And no, I didn't create the name. But we are honored and blessed that you have done so. You are not only personal leaders, but you are leaders in your vocation, and you manifest those qualities of head and heart that permit you to interpret and impart the message of Rotary to those with whom you come into contact. And in this E-Club, that contact will spread worldwide. You are the representatives of your vocation in this new form of club, and the many contributions of an educational value pertaining to your vocations must, of course, naturally come to us through you. On the one hand, you become an ambassador from the club to your classification, and it becomes your duty to carry the ideals and principles of service to your work. The community will know and judge Rotary through your embodiment of its character and service, and you are accepted as members because we believe our principles and organization to be safe in your keeping. We and your new club also expect much from you in help and inspiration, which will enable all of us to be better Rotarians. And with that, we most heartily offer you the hand of Rotary fellowship and friendship. Fellow Rotarians, it is the duty of every Rotarian to add new members from time to time, so that we may not only increase our usefulness and influence as a club, but also to extend the spirit of Rotary throughout the community, and for that matter, extend it throughout the world. Today, I am more than honored to welcome to our ranks and to admit into membership of the newest Rotary Club in District 6630 the following: Steve Warren, Club Chair; Linda Boardman, Club Chair-elect; Caleb Robinson; Kaylee, better known as Lulu McKee; Catherine Craig; Gilletta Craig; Assad Khashoggi; and Celeste Reininger. All of you have been admitted to membership of this new club because we believe you are worthy representatives of your calling, and you possess the qualities that will permit you to exemplify in your public, business, social, and private lives the true spirit of Rotary. I wish to impress upon all of you that you have been admitted not only to the District 6630 E-Club NEO, which by the way is the web name, but to a worldwide association. And by virtue of your membership in this club, you will be welcomed into the fellowship of any Rotary club in the world. The honor and privilege of Rotary membership, of course, carries with it duties and obligations. You will be expected to attend your club's meeting, though new and different in form, to perform your share of club service, and to place your knowledge and talents at the disposal of the club in its tasks of carrying out the principles of Rotary into the daily life of the community. In our virtual format, I can't actually hand anybody a pin at this point, but at this point, I affirm your right and honor to affix the pin to your lapel of our emblem. And you can do that with a pin-on or a magnet, by the way, whichever works best. But I do give you the standard caution: if you have a pacemaker, don't use the magnet. My fellow Rotarians, I present to you our newest members: Steve, Linda, Caleb, Kaylee, Catherine, Gilletta, Assad, and Celeste. If you would welcome them, I believe that would be highly appropriate. You could use your applause button on your control. You can wave, but please welcome them now or at any later time when you can. Now that we have members for a club, I think we can appropriately turn our attention to chartering a club. This, of course, was a bit of the chicken or the egg problem. Do you have to have members to have a club, or a club to have members? Ray and Jim made the decision we needed members first, so we did that, and now we're going to move on to the chartering. I do again want to extend my thanks to Ray, to Jim, and to Steve Warren for the invitation to speak here today in this chartering process. I should probably add briefly that no one, I mean no one, has a method, form, or anything else for chartering an e-club, a satellite club, let alone a satellite e-club. And I have been to the various gurus on this topic. Beverly did not have one. Siglinda did not have one. Rotary International did not have one. Cheryl Warren did not have one. And Jim McKee, therefore, gave me instructions to create one from scratch. So what you are about to see is Jim's fault, and the best that I can do. All right. As some of you have already alluded to, chartering our new satellite club is an exciting undertaking. It's one that I'm honored to help with. And I think the first person I heard say the chartering of this club is historic was Catherine Craig, and she was right. This may be the first satellite hybrid e-club combination anywhere, and it certainly is in our district. And on a serious note, chartering this type of club is particularly historic at this time. In this period of physical isolation due to COVID, the value of the relationships, the friendships, and the contact that will be created and sustained by the chartering of this club is more valuable than ever. The fact is, for most of our lives, we've taken personal contacts for granted. The temporary but substantial disruptions of those contacts that we are dealing with now help us all see anew, really, the value of the ability to reach out to each other. And part of the historic nature of this chartering is that this new method of creating and operating a club in our district will strengthen, develop, and truly advance those friendships and those contacts as we move into the future. Thus, this new club coming to life now could not be more timely. A satellite club, of course, and an e-club, of course, are new models. The combined model in particular supplies a powerful, effective, and flexible approach to reach out to its members, to reach out to family, friends, and our district-wide community. This approach is especially valuable in that it has behind it the value and the strength of the connections of the Northampton Cuyahoga Valley Club. I really have to express my and the district's gratitude and thanks for the Northampton Club's continuing support. Be remiss if I didn't add a special thanks to Jim and to Ray in that process, but the entire club has stood behind this project, and it is appreciated. I would also be incredibly remiss if I did not extend a special and an extra thanks to Catherine Craig and Joletta Craig. As Beverly alluded to earlier, these two have been the heart and soul of developing this club. Their vision, their tenacity, and their enthusiasm have been invaluable. And in fact, those are going to be just as valuable as we move forward. Special thanks to past District Governor Beverly for supporting and shepherding this process before, during, and after her term as governor. I'm not sure where we would be in this process without her, frankly. Steve and Linda, special thanks to you for taking on the initial leadership roles in a new club, in a new format, at a very challenging time. Your willingness to do that is something that I both congratulate you for and thank you for. Now, as several people have reminded me, as district governor, I technically have absolutely no role in chartering a satellite club. You will not find that in the rules, regulations, or history of Rotary. However, I do have the distinct honor of being the spokesperson for District 6630. And as the spokesperson for the district, I want to give our district's collective blessing, best wishes, and promises of continuing support for this truly exciting endeavor. Now, this new club, in its new form, of course, provides many benefits, not only to the creation of relationships between its members, but also its impact not just on our district community, but the impact we will have worldwide. In fact, I think that's well exemplified by our visitor from Pakistan today. Therefore, I am honored to declare, announce, and affirm the chartering of the newest club in District 6630, which is formally known as the Satellite E-Club NEO of TRC of Northampton, Cuyahoga Valley. And by the way, I practiced that. But I believe it will be better known by its web name as District 6630 E-Club. And let me, in closing, express our collective district congratulations, thanks, and best wishes for a bright and a very long future. And with that, I turn the mic back over to Ray and to Jim. Congratulations.
Wow. Kind of neat. Thank you. Thank you, District Governor John. The next person up is District Governor-elect Pat Myers. Pat.
Well, so much has been said, but when I thought about today, I remembered the Rotary's vision statement, where it says, "Together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change." You, Catherine, saw a need in people that weren't able to meet in a traditional club model. And along with Beverly, had a vision to create an e-club. You quickly had a partner in Gilletta Craig who joined you, and as leaders, you took action. You were tenacious and persistent. You talked to other people who could benefit from an e-club, people who have the heart of service to others. You did not give up, even when the goal of 20 people or 10 people to qualify seemed hard to reach. Northampton, the Cuyahoga Valley Club, lent a hand, and they too united and took action to create change. Well done, and congratulations. District 6630 has an outstanding club of people that are ready to take action. So, congratulations. Now
up.
I get to turn it back to Ray for Siglinda.
Yes, Glenda Warren. Comments, please.
Yes, and you know, when we focus on the e-clubs, the history of the e-club is really interesting because it started as a pilot program with 14 clubs and in around 2001. And I remember the talk, well, we can't have that. We can't have people make up online. What kind of a Rotary Club would that be? So, and then, you know, they had more, those 14, I think only 2 dropped out. So in 2016, the Council of Legislation abolished the distinction between Rotary clubs and Rotary E-clubs. So a club is a club is a club. There are no distinctions. So you are truly a Rotary club, even though format is an E-club. And then when they ask people, well, E-club, so why would you want an E-club? And they listed the priorities, and technology was one of the last ones because they're looking as technology is just an enabler, nothing more. You can do anything that you want to do. Mission is to connect, to inform, inspire, involve members in service above self. That's what you're going to be doing. Only difference is members are going to be online to coordinate these items. I'm going to try to put up this quote from Paul Harris, which I came across. I was doing some research on e-clubs, and let's see if it works, because it's a little longer, but it's like amazing. Let's see, I have it up there. I've not.
So Glenda, I need to make you
It's
a
almo-
host. Hold on, let me make you a host, and you'll have to
Okay.
make me a host back when you're done.
Okay.
So you are now the host, so you should be able to do that.
Okay, I'll try to share the screen. Okay, and here's the quote from Paul Harris. I'm not going to give you the date yet, but look at this quote. If we didn't say it was Paul Harris, it is right now. It is what Rotary is doing. I love the part, the kaleidoscopic changes with against our will. And this was in the Rotary magazine in the year 1945. And Kaga, who's the incoming president, and one of the times that I heard him said, this is the time to be revolutionary. Well, we're just following in the footsteps of Paul Harris. And that's what we're doing with this historic chartering of the Northampton E-Club. I bring you congratulations from Floyd Lancia, who's the director of Rotary International Director for Zones 3031. He was excited about the good news. Hans Safranja, who is our membership, we're under his umbrella. He said best wishes, and he was really excited. From our Zone 30, our Rotary coordinator is Bob Callahan. He sends his wishes. Zone 31, Rita Esterly sends congratulations and best wishes. These folks, as well as I, are here to support you in any way. So let's continue to be revolutionary, and congratulations. Okay, I'm going to stop the share.
And then go up to my window, those three little dots.
Yes.
And in the drop-down menu, you'll see one that says Make Host, and click on that.
Okay.
And,
And
I
you
am
should
again
be
the
good.
host. So
Okay.
thank you very much, Glendy. Next speaker is a very important person, Catherine, and I believe I need to ask Juletta to unmute herself as well. But Catherine, congratulations, and you are on.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. This is such an exciting day. When I envisioned it, and over all the years I've talked to Beverly about finally becoming a club, I never expected that it would be in this format. But things really have changed all around us, and I'm excited that we're able to do this online in our happy Zoom homes. And before I say any more about the E-Club, I would like to thank a few people very quickly on our behalf. First of all, you already know that Beverly was the person who really made this happen. Her encouragement and confidence in the rightness of this idea set the ball rolling, and she made it possible for Juletta and I to do the work that we have done on this project over the past 2 years. So thank you so much, Beverly. Bob Fratino and Eric Wagner, who I'm not sure actually were able to come, although we were hoping they were members of our initial advisory board. And they gave us a lot of input and ideas when in the first year when we were trying to get some liftoff of any kind. And all along, Kathy Berkshire, who is the AG coordinator, has sent us so many ideas and names of people to contact, and has been a wonderful support to us. And I think Kathy is here, although she disappeared off my screen, so I'm not 100% sure. An online club requires a website because we are an online club. And we spent many hours evaluating different products before we finally decided on Club Runner. Without Cheryl Warren's patience and continued teaching, our website, which is our primary meeting area, would not be as successful as it is, and we thank her very much. Jim McKee, who's always enthusiastic about everything, was always enthusiastic about our club, even when I think he didn't completely understand what we were going to do. I hope now he has a better understanding of it. And he took care of all the details for us, all the paperwork, made all the arrangements for today's event, and we appreciate it very much, Jim. And finally, from the very beginning, and the first time I met him, which I think was at the district conference a couple of years ago, Ray Krasinski, the president of Northampton Cuyahoga Valley, has been so supportive of all our efforts to become an e-club, even before the idea of becoming his club's satellite was floated to anyone. And since then, he's continued to encourage and support our work, culminating in today's historic celebration. As Beverly mentioned earlier, I've been a spouse partner of a district governor for a little over 10 years. And I've always admired the passion and dedication of Rotarians. And I was impressed by the service they performed in their communities and all around the world. During that time, I had the pleasure of attending lots of meetings and Rotary conventions, and I heard many people talking about the problems they were trying to solve for Rotary and about the innovative and interesting Rotary formats that were being tried. Like Beverly, I learned about the e-clubs long ago and really thought that that was the right format for me. And I'd like to share with you my reasons for why the format meets my needs, as well as I think the needs of many for Rotary. Number one, has anyone ever seen Michael Caruso's presentations where he always says, you're going to say 3 things. Now, number one, it's accessible and inclusive. More people who are now unable to be Rotarians due to their work schedule, their travel, and Celeste is a great example of that. She's always on the road. Physical limitations, time requirements, or cost could become Rotarians if our district had an online club. An e-club is innovative, and I like to try new things and generate ideas and explore options and use technology, and I think other people do too. So I hope that will help us draw others in to our e-club model. And finally, it's flexible. Our club intends to take full advantage of all the doors that Rotary International has opened for us and the flexibility that it's given us to experiment with meeting times and formats, with policies, with attendance, with titles, and they took away the requirement for singing. So I'm now happy to be in an e-club. At the same time, an e-club keeps its focus on Rotary's principles, service above self. We are people of action, and we're excited to be involved because we are a hybrid club in service projects in District 6630, whether those projects are our projects as we go along, or whether they're projects that other clubs are doing that we can assist with. So now I'd like to turn this over to Juletta Craig, who is the best collaborator anyone could have.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for this time. Thank you, Catherine. What's on my heart initially to say is to say right back at you, Catherine, in terms of collaboration. For those of you who don't know Catherine well, she is one of the most thoughtful people I know, and is very considerate about the options that are available and just very open-minded. And I don't know if Catherine remembers those many days in the Kent Library or coffee shop that we collaborated for a few years. I want to read for you all, Catherine, you may remember this, our first mission statement. We typed this 2 years ago. The E-Club, and this is when it was called the E-Club of District 6630, before we had determined a name, will use technology to bring together individuals who would not normally be able to come together in a traditional Rotary club and will engage in community projects, hear interesting speakers, and share fellowship. It's a very overarching statement. It might not have too much pizzazz to it, but I think what happened over the couple of years and working with Catherine and all of you is that the idea of this became a little more pizzazzy and a little more life grew into it throughout time. So I thank Catherine for that. You know, our members and everyone that Catherine thanked, I piggyback off of her. I think for me, I'm very similar to Catherine in that I'm a Rotary spouse. I think as Ray mentioned, Tom Craig is my spouse. And I think in addition to what Catherine said about accessibility, flexibility, and having a foundational idea and appreciation of what Rotary is about, which is about service. The big thing for me in that mission was about finding a way, in a non-traditional way, of course, but to share in fellowship with all of you, kind of what we're doing now, again, in a different modality. But I wore my People with Action shirt. And, you know, thank you very much, Catherine, for that. And I think for me, what was impactful was having this new way of meeting when I maybe traditionally could not, but to share in fellowship with a group of individuals who are just really great people. Just like Catherine, I've had many experiences with Tom in Rotary events. And the big thing that I noticed is this feeling of acceptance. So it goes beyond, you know, the service and accessibility and flexibility. It becomes like a world of acceptance and thoughtfulness and civility in one place for those of us who, you know, maybe just need a different way of meeting. So that's something that impacted me and that I'm thankful, you know, to really have worked with Catherine with over the years and to really be here with you all now, because this really embodies, I think, what we were thinking. And so it's such a wonderful thing. So thank you so much. Oh, and I must introduce, I believe, the next speaker. I believe Roger Edwards, are you on next? And thank you, Roger, for, I want to add, for sending the pins to us and with such a beautiful note included, and just being that another face at Northampton that we, you know, recognize and turn to.
Thank you, Joanna. Yeah, I have a few comments. First of all, I'm somewhat known for being cryptic and sarcastic and weird with my sense of humor, but I want to welcome all you Rotarians, and particularly the distinguished people. I make light occasionally, but I really want you to know that I have a lot of admiration and respect for you personally, all of you people that are here, and for what you do for the world, and particularly for our district and Rotary. So I'm certainly not nearly as eloquent as some of the people we've already had the pleasure of hearing. I'm not as creative as some people, and I'm not known as to be a great motivator, but I am an old timer, really an old timer Rotarian. This is my 58th year in Rotary, and so I've seen and heard a lot, but I also want you to know that I'm very technology challenged. That means illiterate. Which means I'd be a skeptic in terms of knowing what an e-club would be and that type of thing. So all of this, obviously, everything we've heard, we are embarking on a new venture, and kind of reminded me back in, I think it was the 70s, when we finally admitted or let women come into the club, and you had a few people saying, "Oh, I'm out of here. That ain't never going to work. I'm not going to." And 2 months later, they were saying, "Why didn't we do this sooner? Why didn't we do it before?" And I think maybe we're in that same mode at this point in time. So I'd like to say welcome to a new world of Rotary. You've been accepted, and you have accepted this new challenge. I hope you'll ignore the skeptics. I hope you'll incorporate the slogan of the four-way test. Make it work. Make it work. Good luck and good wishes from your Mama and Papa clubs.
Ray, you need to unmute. Unmute, please.
There we go. Now you can all hear me. Our next speaker is John Reyes. John, would you give us some final thoughts on what we have just done today?
Yes, Ray, thank you. If you look at the scope of what we've talked about today, you realize that this achievement was not really the action taken by any one person. And what we are looking at, what we are embarking upon now really is an incredibly good example of what the family of Rotary can do when all of us work together consistently, persistently, and pick a goal we want to achieve. It's not only gratifying, but it's impressive. And one final set of thanks to everyone who has taken part in this, and one final best wishes to everyone as we move forward. Thanks, Ray.
Thank you. A few more things to cover before we're all done with this, if you can all just bear with us a little bit. We normally move on after our program to any club updates, and we've kind of put those on the back burner unless anyone from the Northampton Kaga Valley Club has something they want to say. Raise your hand and I will do my best to get you up here. What I'll do while I'm watching for that is I will ask Dave, our district governor nominee designate, Dave Jones, to unmute himself and talk a little bit about the virtual convention.
As you know, Rotary International had to cancel their Hawaii trip. I'm saddened because I would have been sitting on the beaches at this time. However, we do have a unique opportunity for everybody to attend an international conference, even if they weren't traveling, by getting online between June 20th and June 26th and registering to take the courses to actively participate in the event and actually become part of Rotary International's conference from a home of their choosing. And that may be their office, there may be somebody else's location. But I do encourage everybody to get on, sign in, and sign up for several of the sessions that are out there. Hopefully everybody will attend if you can. If not, 1 or 2 days, that would be great. If all 6 days, that would even be better. Also, I want to put out there that if you are looking to possibly go to Taiwan next year, during the period of the 20th through the 26th is when the window opens for registration, and that will be the discount period where you will get the lowest price for registering to go to the Rotary International Conference in Taipei. So if you're considering that, that would be your opportunity to save a little bit of money. Thanks, Ray.
Thank you, Dave. The next item on our agenda is who next week's speaker is going to be for our club. And Wally, if you could unmute yourself and give us a little preview of who we will have as our speaker.
Thank you, Ray. First, I'd like to congratulate all of our new friends, our satellite club. It's great to have you as a part of our Rotary family. When I was thinking about who to invite to be our speaker next week, I kept tripping over the news of all the unprecedented issues we're facing in our world, in particular, the conditions surrounding the racial discussions that are going on, the protests and whatnot. And I had an opportunity to speak to our chief of police, Jack Davis, the Kaga Falls police chief, and he is going to be our speaker next week. And he will come to discuss kind of the perspective of the police in regard to all of this. So I hope as many of you as possible can join. Certainly, many of you who are not members of our club are welcome to be a part of that discussion as well. So we'll welcome Jack Davis, the chief of the Kaga Falls Police Department, to our meeting next week.
Thank you, thank you, Wally. The next item on our agenda, this is the way we normally flow through our meetings, so you're seeing a little bit how our club does things, is we open this up for open comments that anybody can make. And I know that Cheryl Warren has something she would like to do. If you would unmute yourself, Cheryl, and go ahead.
Yes, Ray, thank you so much. It's my distinct honor today to award my husband, Steve, and I will walk over and pin him. He has achieved his Paul Harris +6 pin today, his ruby pin. And we are very proud. We have just become major donors as well. So I'm going to go and put his pin on.
Congratulations.
It wasn't a long walk. Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I know Roger has something to report. Please, Roger, you're unmuted.
Yeah, okay. A sad note, we lost Lou Sharp last year and Joe Post recently. And I had a call from Bob Givenrath's daughter, Kathy, last Saturday to inform me that Bob passed away last Thursday night. He was now on honorary status, but a longtime member, wonderful, wonderful person, and we regret his passing. So I wanted to let people know that that has occurred. It's not been anything in the paper, and service arrangements have certainly are pending based on the current situation. Second little comment, I did have an opportunity with Ann and I, and Ann says hello, Catherine, to watch the senior recognition program last Friday night from Woodridge. And maybe Wally would like to comment. I called him the next day to compliment him. Tom Kaiser should be on here somewhere, mentioning the 10 scholarships that Woodridge did give out this year. So maybe Tom and or Wally would have a comment on that. Thank you.
I'm always happy to brag about the Woodridge School District as its leader. We did have to have virtual senior activities. And like most other school districts, we hired some helpers to a professional company actually to create our graduation ceremony virtually. That actually airs tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. on our district website and YouTube channel. But our senior awards and our baccalaureate ceremony were put together by two of our senior class students themselves who have developed a little business and they do videography work. And so we hired them as a school district, and they produced both of those events for their classmates, and they were spectacular. They aired in successive Friday evenings. And the Rotary Club can be very proud that the scholarships that we awarded were included, along with, I want to say, close to 75 to 100 other scholarships. And our kids were taken very, very good care of, and the response was very positive. Once again, Rotary, our club was front and center as those students were honored. So thank you to those of you who participated in those student interviews. It's a big part of what the Northampton Club does, and I know our community appreciates it. And thanks to Tom. Where are you, Tom? I know you're here. Tom Kaiser, who kind of coordinates that program each and every year. He did a great job again.
Ray. Tom, unmute yourself. Let's hear from you.
No, sorry. I'll talk about it next week at our meeting next week. I think today we've had a full menu, so I think we'll leave that alone until next week.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Does anyone else have any comments? Raise your hand and I will. Okay, let's go there to Randy. I see a hand up. There you go. Whoop.
Hi, everyone. Hey, as your District 6630's annual giving chair, I would like to remind all Rotarians to give to the Rotary Foundation so that we can do things like we see is happening in Pakistan with our guest from there. So if you haven't done it yet, please donate. And Pat, I look forward to working with you next year as your annual chair. So thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, not seeing anyone else. I would like to ask Rotarian Steve Warren to unmute himself. Since our club has been doing these Zoom meetings, we've gone through and asked various members to give us some closing thoughts at the end of the meeting. And one of our newest members, Steve, I'd like to ask you for some closing thoughts for this meeting.
Thank you, Ray. This has been a pretty exciting day for me personally, and it's the culmination of a lot of hard work by many dedicated people, all of whom are now officially Rotarians. So as we close today, I'd like to add my thanks to PDG Beverly and for her support and the inspiration to get the club started, and soon to be PDG John for his continued support as we worked hard to get to this point. I was going to call it getting to the finish line, but really we've only just reached the starting line. President Ray, PDG Jim, and the members of the Rotary Club of Northampton, Cuyahoga Valley, thank you for all your efforts and for agreeing to be our parent club and the mentors as we move forward with this exciting new Rotary adventure. Catherine and Gilletta, all the research, all the meetings, all the long hours, look at what you've done. Congratulations. Now it's time for us to really get to work. Fellow Rotarians and friends, thank you for your support and for taking the time to be part of this historic Rotary event. I'd like to close today with a little inspiration from our founder, Paul Harris. This is a quote from him. May Rotarians continue to be ambassadors of goodwill to high and low, rich and poor, to all races, the devotees of all religious faiths, and to members of all political parties. May they be purveyors of tolerance, forbearance, justice, kindness, neighborliness, and friendliness to the inhabitants of this snug little world. It's the best little world we know. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. I want to thank everybody just for being on today. It's been wonderful. Congratulations to everyone involved with our eClub NEO. And thanks to everybody who contributed to today. And those of you who took the time to just be part of this, whether you're from around the corner or the other side of the world. Thanks for being part of this. As I normally say at the end, be safe, be well, and see you soon. Bye-bye.